We are coming to you from USA LaField, where tonight WGN Sports on the U presents White Sox baseball. It's Juan Pierre, Alexi Ramirez, and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Miguel Cabrera and the Detroit Tigers. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With the big hurt Frank Thomas, who's sitting in for my partner Steve Stone, who's not here tonight, I'm Ken Harrelson, as we get set to bring you the first of this three-game series. But there's two things that are prevalent right now about tonight. First of all, it's the disappointment getting swept by Minnesota to put us 9 games back with 16 left. And Big Frank, the next thing is how hard we're going to play the next 16 games.
Well, we got no choice but to play hard at this moment. Where we alluded to earlier that we're both disappointed what happened with the Minnesota series, but now it's time to be a true professional and finish out the season strong because we are playing for second place. I know no one likes to play for second place, but it's something to play for, and you got guys that are auditioning for next season.
Well, one of the things I think that has to inspire our guys a little bit is Canerco last night get hit in the face and then come back, stay in the ball game, and then hit the home run.
I tell you what, that might have been a career-defining moment for Paul Canerco to get off the ground like that and come up next pitch and hit a home run. Shows his guts and determination have been great, and I'm proud of him for last night's performance.
All right, Edwin Jackson on the bump for us. Mike Scherzer for them. So sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way. Against the Twins, that leaves us 9 games back with 16 to play. You know, the outlook is not really good for our White Sox. But Ozzy's message to his players before tonight's game that it is not over.
To me, it's not.
No?
If I want to or not, it's not. Because I got to sit here and say, well, we're done. Then I not have respect for my players, or I don't believe what they can do. Our job and my job is just go out there and win the many games we can. Make sure we're 100% behind them. Because if your manager give up on you, they should give up on your manager. And I'm not going to give up on them. Like I said yesterday, we will to continue to play the lineup regularly. We're going to play games out there, guys. They need to play. And, you know, after I'm not out, I don't count myself out. In the meanwhile, we got to take every game the same way, no matter if it's the last game of the season, the first day of the season. We got to go there after very hard. It's our job, and regardless of what happens, we got to finish strong. We have to finish strong, because most of the time, you know, when you go all the way to here fighting, and you look at yourself in the mirror after the season, wow, we fight for 5 months and we give up one or 20 days or 10 days, it ain't going to happen.
We'll be back with tonight's starting lineup right after this. In part by the Illinois Lottery Mega Millions, and tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is worth $54 million. And tonight's game is available in Spanish on your SAP audio setting provided by WRTO La Tremenda, Chicago's Spanish language sports leader. So along with the Big Hurt Frank Thomas first for a three-game set as we wait for the players to take the field. Sox come in 8-7 against the Tigers this year. But it seems like most of these games have just been tooth and nail. Same way with Kansas City. And Big Frank, that's what we have not done this year. Minnesota's just absolutely crucified the Central Division, and we're under 500.
Well, we talked about it last night. If you go 30-36 in the division, you're not going to win the division.
Right. All right, Sox have taken the field right now. Let's check out the Tigers starting lineup handed in by Jim Leyland. Austin Jackson will lead it off. Will Rhymes at second, hitting second. Johnny Damon and Cabrera, the cleanup hitter. Don Kelly in left, Ryan Rayburn in right. Johnny Peralta, the shortstop, hitting seventh. Brandon Inge at third, and Alex Avila doing the catching. Defensively, our Sox, Pierre, Jones, and Tien from left to right. Around the horn, Burrell, Ramirez, Lillibridge, Casey, and the battery of Ramon Castro and Edwin Jackson out of Columbus, Georgia. The Big Hurt Frank Thomas's hometown. Edwin making his 8th start for us, his 30th overall. And this young man has got some good stuff.
Young man can pitch. I'm very proud of him. I've heard so much from him, people in Columbus, the tenacity he had down there as a youngin'. Now he's in the big leagues, still throwing well. What a great acquisition for us. He's really done a job down the stretch. Honestly, we've all just fallen a little short at this point.
All right, let's check out the men in blue tonight. Behind the plate, Jeff Kellogg, Larry Vanover at first, Jeff Nelson at second, and over third, Mark Carlson. So the Sox come in at 79-67, 12 games over, 9 games back of Minnesota. And as you and I have talked in the past, it's a battle of bullpens, and our bullpen just came up short.
Seemed like we fell apart over the last, I would call it 15 days. Injury after injury out there, and a lot of young guys had to pick up the slack, and they just weren't ready for that role yet.
All right, the clock has struck 7:10, and Austin Jackson gets set to lead it off. This young man has had a heck of a season for the Tigers in his rookie year. Just 23 years old. Comes in hitting an even 300 with 3 homers and 32 driven in.
See why the Yankees really didn't want to let this guy go.
And he can cover some ground out there in Central.
Fine looking young player.
So Edwin gets a sign, and the first pitch is taken off the outside corner. Tigers come in at 72 and 74. They're hitting .269 as a club with a 4.33 ERA. And the count evens at 1.
Much is left for the boys to get back on the right track tonight. We need a victory tonight. Regardless of the Minnesota situation, we just need to continue to win.
And of course, Minnesota at home hosting Oakland. It'll be Brett Anderson against Blackburn in that game. The 2-1 pitch. Fouls it back, and as I mentioned, this is the 16th meeting between these two clubs. In the first 15, Sox have won 8 of them.
Well, this young Detroit team is what really put us on that decline for the last, I would say, 8 games, 9 games. Going in there losing 3 out of 4 wasn't a good thing for us at all.
No, we go in there and win the first one and lose the last 3. That was a heartbreak.
For some reason, Jim just put in that young, hungry lineup, and those guys was scratching and clawing every at bat and found some holes and made some things happen that day. We were recovering that game, 14 singles in one game?
Yeah. That's popped up. Tien can't quite get there. So the count 2-2.
It's a long run there. I think it's been a while since he's been out in right field, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's probably a little slow off the bat.
Been out there sporadically. So Jackson gets a freebie. And that pitch a little high, so a full count in here at beautiful USA Field. 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straightaway center. And the payoff pitch. And that's another souvenir.
98 miles an hour.
And this will be the 9th pitch of this sequence. First of 3 in the Sox. After the game on Sunday night, the game will be over ESPN. We'll board our charter. We'll head on out to Oakland for that 3-game set, as that's another foul ball and another souvenir. So we'll have 3 in Oakland and an off day, and finish up our final road trip of the year with 3 in Anaheim. Come home for the final homestand, 4 against the Red Sox and 3 against Cleveland.
At least it should be still a very great final week with the Boston Red Sox coming in for 4. And we know how Cleveland Indians is going to play us down the stretch.
This is playable. Andrew taking charge, makes the call, has the ball. So a 10-pitch at bat right there. And that's out number 1. That'll bring up the second baseman, Will Rhymes. Hitting at .293, no homers. He's driven in 12.
This little guy gave us fits last week.
Pesky little guy.
Tell you what, he can put the bat head on the ball. He plays hard.
He has faced Edwin 8 times. He has a couple of hits. So you got Brent Morrell, even with the bag off the line at third. Outfield short, swung well around to the left. That's the way a lot of teams play Juan Pierre. That kick. I'll tell you who Edwin has a lot of mannerisms like on the mound. A lot. Now, you never face this guy, but you've seen him an awful lot. Knowing you, you've seen him a ton in films. And I'm not trying to compare him to him. I just say he's got a lot of the mannerisms of Bob Gibson.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and a guy that a little later after that, a lot of the mannerisms of Dave Stewart.
It reminds me a lot of Dave Stewart. But it's going to take a while to compare him to Bob Gibson.
Well, I'm not comparing him to it. Believe me, I faced Gibson.
Yes. One of the greatest of all time.
I faced him quite a few times.
And you told me stories about it. One of the toughest competitors you ever met in your life.
No question about it. No question about it. Let's put it this way. You might tie him, but you weren't going to beat him in that category.
I've heard many stories about the great Bob.
Johnny Damon, 36-year-old veteran, hitting at .272, 8 homers, 47 driven in.
What's been great about Edwin for me is with that exploding fastball, he's really, really worked hard on that changeup. And over the last couple of years, you've seen that development. And that's why he's become such a great starter.
Well, that's the reason he reminds me of Gibby a lot in his mannerisms on the mound, plus his fastball. Now, he throws as hard as Gibby. There's no question about that, but he didn't have the slider to give. He had just a nasty, filthy slider.
And that ability to turn it up when he needed to.
Well, and turn it down. I remember playing against him in the 7th game of the World Series, and I go to the plate in about the 5th inning, and he struck me out on 3 sinkers. And I'm stepping out of the box after, what the devil's he doing? 3 sinkers, he strikes me out. I'm going back to the dugout, and Rico Petrocelli's next. I said, Rico, he's lost his fastball. He said, what? I said, he's lost his fastball. As there's ball 4. And sure enough, he had pitched like 330 innings that year.
Right.
This was his 3rd start in the World Series. And he lost his fastball. It didn't bother him one bit. For the last 4 innings, he just turned that thing over and still stuck it up our behind.
That's a great competitor. Pitch whatever he has that day.
A lot of guys would have got scared to death.
Oh, yeah.
So here's Cabrera. Best right-handed hitter in this league.
This is a special young man.
Yeah. Hitting .333, 34 homers, 118 driven in.
I'm just amazed the number he's putting up at that Tiger Park. Just think he was in a small park like this one.
He's got just an uncanny ability to knock in runs.
Well, he uses the whole field. Every at bat you'll see it.
But to knock in a lot of runs, most of the time, most of the guys, I would say probably 95, 96%, have got to use the whole field. You got that 2, 3, 4% that don't have to use the whole field, but those are the exceptions rather than the rule.
Well, you look at Paulie this year. You look at that average. I've seen him hit so many balls hard to right field this year, and that's why he's really having a special year this year.
More than he ever has in a White Sox uniform.
I've been watching it all year.
There goes Damon. Edwin very slow to the plate, and Johnny picks up stolen base number 10. He is now 10 for 11.
Johnny still runs like a young man. I think he's at the age of, 36 now?
Yep.
Still can burn.
1-2. And that's downstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. With Don Kelly on deck. Kelly, who just murdered us at Comerica Park. He's 5 for 10 lifetime off Edwin with a homer.
Well, it's saying a lot that he's backing up Miguel Cabrera. Obviously could do something with the bat.
He gone. And that'll do it. After a half inning of play, it's the Tigers nothing and the good guys coming to play. three of Pierre, Alexei, and Manny. Middle three of Jones, Tien, and Castro. Bottom third of Kotze, Morrell, and Lillibridge. Defensively, Kelly, Jackson, and Rayburn. In the outfield, around the horn, Inge, Peralta, Rhymes, Cabrera, and a battery of Avila and Scherzer. And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours, as here's Juan Pierre as he takes ball one. Big Hurt, this guy's got some pretty good stuff. The Scherzer.
I've heard he can command the fastball in the mid-90s also. The great sinker.
That sinker is real good. Plus, he's featuring a good changeup.
Well, I remember a couple years ago when he was coming up through the Diamondbacks that they were really, really high on him. He was their number one prospect and expected the world out of him. I don't know what happened down there.
Well, last year he was 9-11 with a 4.12 ERA for him. And that got him. So far, let me see, 20th time, I believe, this year he has been hit.
I saw a stat last night. He was leading the American League. Hit by pitch.
So here's Alexei. That's the hit by pitch. Let's see, 20th time he has been hit this year. There's the strike. Alexei hitting at 282, 17 homers, 63 driven in. Sox come in hitting at 269, same as the Tigers, but the Sox have a better ERA at 4.09. Sox 40-31 here at home. Good lead. And a count 0-2.
Alexei's had a very solid season. I'd like to see him finish strong.
This has been overall the best season he's had in the White Sox uniform.
He looked great this year. Offensively, defensively, he's really grown up this year and become a very special American League shortstop. Still amazed by his power.
Long set by Scherzer. That pitch fouled out of play. Well, I think a lot of the work that Joey Cora and Alexei have put in extra, and also the emergence and appearance, so to speak, on this ball club of Omar Vizquel have really helped him.
Well, I've watched a lot this year, coming in early and seeing Joey Cora with these guys, 15, 20 minutes before batting practice. And you got to take your hat off to these guys because those are some long, grueling season we have here, and to be doing that extra work every day, it's a grind.
Avila keeps it in front of him, and the count 1-2. Alexei has faced Scherzer 4 times, has 1 hit. So look at Joey.
A lot of guys, Hawk would tell them, enough of that by All-Star break. They really don't want to put that type of time in, day in and day out, especially playing every night. So the young man wants to get better, and he wants to be a great big league shortstop.
Good lead. Long set. And that's fouled back. Well, there have been a lot of guys. When Robin Ventura first joined this ball club, he was not a real good third baseman. He just kept working and working. Manzolino and Robin worked and worked and worked, and he became Robin Ventura.
Tell you what, you could not bunt a ball down that third base line.
Well, he was great on it, wasn't he? And then Joe Creedy. When Joe came up, Joe was not what you'd call a defensive phenom down there, but he just kept working and working and working, learned how to get his behind down, and he became Joe Creedy.
Both of those guys became very great at the hot corner. I was able to witness both of them.
Just back in, says Vanover.
Quick feet. Russ Scherzer. Very close play. Matter of fact, that one could have gone either way.
Another big lead. There he goes. There's a strike him out and a throw him out. So Juan says, puts up his hand like, why? Meanwhile, 2 down.
Great throw by Avila there, because that was a 3-2 change. Strike him out. Throw out Juan Pierre, one of the best base stealers in baseball. Fine arm.
But if he tagged him, he was out.
Outstanding throw.
Couldn't tell if he tagged him. So here's Manny. Manny hitting at 293, 6 for 15 lifetime off Scherzer with a homer.
I like to see Manny just get it going a little bit. I know it's got to be tough for him. This guy's dominated forever. Finds himself coming here to Chicago, not playing much over the last couple months, and found himself in a pennant race where he loved to be.
That's into right field. And that'll retire the side. Nothing across. After 1, there's no score. Don Kelly will lead it off here in the Tiger, top of the second. Takes a fastball upstairs. Kelly comes in hitting at 245, 6 homers, 22 driven in. As I mentioned, he's 5 for 10 with a homer off Edwin as the count moves to 2-0.
Well, this guy took some nice cuts in Comerica Park last week, but I found his swing to be a little bit too long. So for some reason, he can get the bat head out and hit it a long way once he makes contact.
2-1. And there's a strike. Well, you know yourself, guys with big swings, every now and then they're going to guess right and run into a fastball when they get it started.
Most definitely. But that one he's pitching just like he was the last 2 pitches, down and in.
You called it. He gone.
He would definitely have a hard time catching up that ball in the high 90s on the inside part of the plate. And that'll come with time. He'll work and get a little shorter in there. But that's just.
You can learn how to shorten up your swing.
Yes, you can.
Here's Ryan Rayburn. I remember a couple of guys that came into this league, and one of them, Tino Martinez, when he first came in, he had that big, long, flowing swing going, and I'm saying if he doesn't shorten it up, he won't be here long. And boy, he learned how to shorten it up and had a heck of a career.
Yes, he did. One tough out. When I first got here, I was a little long. You know, worked many days, shortening me up, working on an inside pitch, and, you know, made it comfortable in there for you. I always tell the guys, don't panic inside. Just react. Let your hands do your work.
That's one of the toughest things, as you know. One of the toughest things for a hitter to do is trust his hands.
Oh, yeah. We all get a little panicky inside there. The hard fastball.
Rayburn hitting at 273, 13 homers, 54 driven in. 2 for 7 against Edwin. And a 3-0 pitch. So the second walk. And that'll bring up Peralta. And you can organize a group outing of 20 or more guests during the season. Purchase a block of tickets or enhance your outing with one of 6 great party areas. Now, the more tickets you order, the more money you save. So call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com. Peralta hitting at 252, 14 homers, 72 driven in. That's combined average for Cleveland and Detroit.
I'm still trying to figure out why this guy hadn't put it together yet.
Me too. You've heard me talk about him. He's got a big upside, and he just hasn't been able to put it together.
And I've seen him some nights look great. I mean, like a big league superstar. Then the next day, he's just lost.
I know against us, when he's the most dangerous, he's hitting the ball hard to right field. And this should be. Rack him up. And that'll do it after an inning and a half. No score. WGNTV.com right now. Click on the WGN Sports Game Zone banner to connect all the game stats and information while you're watching at home. And WGN Sports Game Zone at WGNTV.com is brought to you by Columbia College of Missouri. On campus and online classes fit your schedule and your budget. Andrew Jones with a 2-0 count.
This Swerzer guy, he's got to be a tough at bat for right-handed hitters. Big, tall, sidearm throwing. He can hide the ball just enough to make it a difficult at bat and difficult to see from the mound.
Well, the days of the smaller pitchers are going by the wayside. They got some guys there almost as big as you are.
They're finding some great arms nowadays, I tell you that much.
It's unreal. 2-2. One of the greatest pitchers, one of the greatest left-handers I ever saw was a guy so small you couldn't believe it. I mean, you saw him on the mound, you couldn't tell because he was in uniform. And all of a sudden you see him with street clothes after the game, and that was Ron Guidry.
Oh. Great stuff.
Got him.
What a pitch. Was that a high sinker or?
Looked like a high change.
Okay. I know it was up in the zone and it dropped down.
High straight change it was.
Okay.
As here's Tien. Yeah, Guidry, 1978 was 25-3 in the regular season and went 28-3 counting postseason.
Tell you what, there's been many men that went up more than 20 more than one time.
Another guy that was really small, that was for 6 years as good as there ever was Pedro.
Yes, he was.
Pedro Martinez. 6-year period, boy, I tell you what.
I don't think we need to go there, Hulk.
You were both thinking the same thing, are we? We don't have to revisit that.
No. Tell you what.
Count 3-0.
That was one of the most difficult lights in the big league my whole career. 9 pitches.
Frank told me after the game, he said, Hawk, that man threw me 9 pitches that were unhittable.
Didn't mind walking back to the dugout because I was totally dominated, Hawk.
That's flared foul, and that's not going to be playable. First row. So a full count to Tien. His face serves it 5 times. He's 0 for 5. And he's gone. So 2 out. And right now, let's check out our Dodge picks to click tonight. Jim Angio, our director and the crew, going with Brent Lillibridge. The Big Hurts going with Kotsay. And Jeff Chanel and his terrific crew run the scoreboards here and all the special effects. They do just a marvelous job. Jeff Chanel and his crew. We're going to go with Andrew Jones. And of course, for more information on the entire vehicle lineup, log on to Dodge.com or stop by your Chicagoland or Northwest Indiana Dodge dealer. Here's a man that's done a heck of a job for us this year.
He's been special.
Ramon Castro.
Very big games off the bench.
2-0 the count. Well, there are not too many teams in the big leagues can say they got a tandem catchers like A.J. Pierzynski and Ramon Castro.
They've been great this year. It's a great combination. This guy's provided a big bat off the bench for us.
There's a strike.
Hitting some shots.
Fouls that back.
That was a tough 3-1 pitch there. Not going to make a living hitting that one. 95 off the knuckles.
And he got him on the outside corner. There's Kellogg, so he strikes out the side. That's 4 strikeouts for Scherzer, and after 2, it's 0-0. Avila, then back to the top of the order with Austin Jackson to face Edwin Jackson. Inge has been a real solid player for this club for a long time.
I love this guy.
I do too. Never met him, never talked to him, but I'll tell you one thing right now. I love the way he plays. And when he plays hurt, he still gets the job done.
Well, I've had many conversations with him. He's just one of those tough, hard grinders that love to play the game, and he plays it the right way.
1-2 the count. He has faced Edwin 18 times, has 5 hits.
What a pitch.
He gone. 3 strikeouts for Edwin.
It's a great tight slider. Locked him up. Strike 3. So far, Hulk, pitchers are looking, both sides looking very strong tonight.
If you're just tuning in, there are no runs, no hits for both teams here in the top of the third. And here's Alex Avila hitting at 214. He swung the bat well against us. Can't get that change up.
Back in the day, Hulk, the guys start you off with a changeup as much?
Never.
That's what I thought.
Never. There's a broken bat. Alexei makes a nice adjustment right there to make the catch.
Out of no man's land.
Well, I'll tell you how bad it was. As you take another look at this, Alexei.
That's ranging way out there.
There's the adjustment right there. If a pitcher started off a hitter with a changeup and he got a base hit, he usually got one of two things, or both. He got his behind chewed out, okay, when he got back to the dugout, or he got fined, because that's chopped foul.
Well, a lot of guys would say, why throw a changeup first pitch? Because what are you changing up off of?
That's exactly what the reasoning was. Exactly. Today is a different culture, different ball game. And I'll tell you one thing. I agree with today's culture more than I did at my time.
Yes.
Because if you've got a good changeup, that's the second best pitch in baseball.
Well, I've talked to certain pitching coaches, and they're saying they're starting guys off with changeup ups to make the fastball even better. And these guys are throwing 98, 99, so it makes some sense to me.
That didn't take long. 1, 2, 3. We go to the bottom of the third, still scoring. No score. Bottom of the third, lower third of our order. Kotsay, Morel, and Lillibridge to face Max Scherzer. Mark takes strike one. There are his numbers. And he's 3 for 10 lifetime off Scherzer.
Well, watching both of these right-handed hard ballers, the left-handers better wake up soon. Because it's going to be a long night for these right-handers. The lefty's going to have to run the show tonight.
As he strikes him out, so that is 4 straight punch-outs for Scherzer. And I'm sure you've done the same thing. I know we'd start a game sometimes and you're facing a guy, you know, not a big-name guy.
Yes.
But all of a sudden, after the first strikeout, when you went to the plate, you come back to the dugout and say, hey, you left-handers, let's go, boys.
Let's go. It's going to be a long one.
Let's go, boys. Here's Morel.
This guy right here, they just haven't been able to figure him out. They said he's got dominant stuff. But he's been a 500 pitcher since he's been in the big leagues.
And the count very quickly 0-2.
I was watching this game earlier in the year. They were playing Tampa Bay. Actually, both of the pitchers were throwing no-hitters through 7.
Yeah, that was the first time that had happened, I believe, in like, I don't know, 100 years or something.
This young man right here was throwing a no-hitter through 7, and I believe there was an error, 2 walks, and the first hit of the night he gave up was a grand slam, first pitch. And they lost the game 4-0.
0-2 pitch. And a reminder, nothing demonstrates the pride and commitment of being a White Sox fan more than becoming a season ticket holder. So you can place your deposit now for a 2011 full or partial plan and be among the first to select your seat location. You gain access to the best seats available at US Sailor Field and take advantage of all the benefits of becoming a season ticket holder. As that ball hit sharply to the shortstop, Peralta. And that is out number 2. So call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com to place your deposit today. Here's Lillibridge. Grant hitting at 274, a couple of homers, 14 driven in. Pitch is outside. Minnesota trailing Oakland 1-0. That game in the top of the third at Target Field.
They'll lose one tonight.
Well, you could see after that victory last night in the sweep, they knew exactly what that meant. Oh, yeah.
But you never know, Hawk.
Well, hey, neither one of us are quitting.
You never know.
It's like getting in a fight. You ain't going to quit till you get knocked out. We're not knocked out yet.
Tell you what, you lose 5 in a row, it turns to 7. You just never know what could happen to you. It's happened. A couple teams have collapsed with big leagues over the last 30, 40 years.
I remember back, I don't remember exactly the year, 90, late 90s, Angels had an 8-game lead with a couple of weeks to go, and you just knew they were going to blow it. And Seattle came back and got them.
I remember that.
95, John Walgren says. I remember because after they left, Seattle came in to play us, and I went down to talk to Piniella. And I said, Lou, those guys are going to spit it out. He said, no. I said, I'm telling you, we just got done with them. They're going to spit it out. And sure enough, they did.
Everything about this game is contagious. Shot by Lillibridge.
Hang Wolfman for Lillibridge. Meanwhile, we're scoreless going to the 4th. Will Rhymes, the second baseman. There has only been one stranded runner through the first 3 innings. No runs, no hits, no errors for them. No runs, no hits, no errors for us. But Frank, you said something in the opening that was so true, and it struck a chord with me last night, as it did with you. I think what Paul Konerko did last night, that exemplified what White Sox fans love. It really did. I mean, after the game, I told him, I said, you know, I've always had respect for you, but that seals the deal, so to speak,
for
me.
I called it earlier, a career-defining moment for him.
And that's the best way to put it.
Take a pitch in the face, and to go up the next at-bat and hit the first ball out of the ballpark. It takes courage, it takes determination, and you're a little angry.
Well, that's his hockey mentality.
Yes.
And for a lot of Sox fans out there who don't know, Paulie was a really good hockey player. And let's take a look at those 2 at-bats. First one. Hit him right.
I mean, just square.
In the nose and the lip. And Hermie's trying to get him out of there, and he's just not going to leave.
Yes. I'm sure he was angry. I know how far that Paulie can get, and that just shows.
And that was the second at-bat on the first pitch from Pavano. I tell you what, I just knew Pavano was going to get his you-know-what lit up last night.
Yeah, after that. But Paul handled it the right way.
Yes, he did. Not how many guys are going to get hit in the face and want to. In other words, you just couldn't have dug him out of there with a backhoe.
95% are gone.
That's right.
They're done for the night. And a lot of guys are affected after that for a long period of time. These pitchers at Nighthawk, they're saying, here, hit it, boys.
Well, they're not trying to trick anybody.
Not at all.
Damon drew a walk and then picked up his 10th stolen base back in the first inning. And we've only had one base runner. That was Juan Pierre leading off the bottom of the first, and he was hit by a pitch. And then there was a strike him out, throw him out double play, and since then nobody has reached base for us. 2 Hopper.
Look like this one will be decided in the bullpen tonight. These guys keep this up.
You know, those hockey players just absolutely I love them. You know, when we played no celebrity golf tournaments, I always made sure I played my practice rounds with the hockey guys. It just amazed me over the years watching them, how they get 30 stitches, go in and get it sewed up, and come back out there, and they're out there 15 minutes later.
Well, it was good the other day to see old Jeremy Roenick. I haven't seen him in a long time at the Chicagoland Hall of Fame. You can look at his face. He's all beat up, but I tell you what, there's a great spirit. I was so happy to see that guy. I'm so happy to see him back in Chicago.
He's a piece of work.
Yes, he is.
I love Jeremy. That little guy can hit a golf ball a long way,
Woo.
too.
I've witnessed that, Hawks.
Jeremy's a sweetheart until he gets hot.
Oh. Played many, many years in the NHL. It says a lot.
Going to the count. Take a bear. Remind me next inning, I'll tell you a story about Jeremy. Just epitomizes what, like we were talking about. Well, that was the defining moment as far as Paulie last night to a White Sox fan and to the club. It should be to the club.
Right.
The 1-2. That's low.
But at that point last night, I knew Paulie didn't want to leave the ball game. He was hitting about 450, 500 against Pavano. And there's no way he's going to take a ball off the face and not go back and get him. He's always picked him up well.
And that's fouled off. Yeah, I thought when that happened, and the first pitch he fielded him out, I thought we were going to win that ball game and hopefully just get things started. Just get started.
Well, you can tell the energy level picked up at the ballpark. But when you give up 9, 9, and 8 in a series like that, it's deflating for the whole bunch of ball players out there.
He gone. 1-2 3 inning. That is 5 strikeouts for Edwin. And we'll go to the bottom of the 4th, still scoreless. First pitch strike to Juan Pierre, leading off here in the bottom of the 4th, and sitting in for my partner, Steve Stone, because of Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is not here tonight. The big hurt Frank Thomas. And there's a little soft ground ball to line. So 2 pitches, 1 out. But talking about Jeremy Roenick, we're playing this golf tournament up at Cape Cod, celebrity tournament, and Bill Lambier and I are paired together. And Lambier had a caddy bigger than he was.
That's a big man.
Yeah. So Lambier and I got into this argument on about the 4th hole. As here is Alexei. And it got to be pretty heated. And I had a 9-iron in my hand, and I said, Bill, you don't know me. So anyway, his caddy looked at me and winked. So the story, and Pierre LaRouche was playing with us.
Okay.
So the story got around and we got into this argument and everything. So the next morning I'm in the Players Clubhouse and Jeremy comes walking in. Where is that son of a gun? Where is Lambier? Yes, there's a little flare. Cabrera catches it. So that is out number 2. He says, where is that guy? He said, I'll kick his behind. And here's little Jeremy. They're talking about Lambier 6'11". I said, come on, Jeremy, settle down. It's all over now. It's all over now. But that's Roenick.
Yes. He's a funny character, but he played the game hard, man.
Better believe it. Here's Manny. Manny going out to right field.
Wake us up, Manny. Let's go now.
Well, you said it. You said it during the break after his first at bat. He's just not in the hitting shape yet, and for some reason, tell him what you said.
I just think it has something to do with DHing on a full-time basis. This is his first time coming in the middle pennant race. When you're sitting on the bench as a designated hitter, you try to set a bat up mentally at times, and it gets you out of your different rhythms that you have at the plate. Manny's been a fun-loving guy out there who's...
There it is, way back!
And there he is.
Hey, look up, you can put it on the ball!
There he is.
Yes! Number 1 for Manny in a Sox uniform. And it's a 1-0 Sox lead. Mercy.
Happy to see him do that. Because we know what type of hitter this guy can be.
I told you in the break, I hope he's back with us next year. Okay.
Well, you know, he's just, if not the most dominant right-handed hitter of over the last 50, 60 years. He's definitely in the top 3.
That's number 555. Well, over his career, certainly. But for 8 years, there's never been a right-handed hitter more dominant than you.
Well,
never.
Well, like I told people, Manny Ramirez and I went at it a lot for many, many years. Basically doing the same things. Manny was a lot faster than me, so got a lot more doubles. But, you know, this young man really can swing the bat. And I've always loved to watch him because his plate presence and the movement at the plate, there's barely any movement with him, and he's always been consistent with that. And it's so hard to go up to the plate as a big league hitter and not move around the box a little bit. But this guy's, you know, as calm and as smooth as it comes as a major league hitter.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out to Andrew. And it's a full count. Well, the thing that neither you nor Manny ever got credit for was how smart a hitters that you were. You were one of the smartest hitters, and Manny was one of the smartest hitters in the last 50 years in this game.
Well, I watched Manny a lot. He seemed to me as one of the best guys ever setting guys up. I mean, he would sit there and sit on breaking balls. You never knew what he was doing.
One of the best. He
could sit on breaking balls and change-ups, and it was an amazing thing to watch. I've seen him go up there and take 3 straight fastball right down the middle and just turn right back around from the plate and walk back to the dugout.
Yeah.
And early in my career, I could never understand why he was doing that.
Well, he's one of those guys that I've talked about in the past. If you try to pitch him in a conventional fashion, he was going to kill you. If you try to pitch Joe Mauer in a conventional fashion, he's going to kill you. If you tried to pick Frank Thomas in a conventional fashion, he was going to kill you. As that has popped up, get out of here. Everybody a long way to go. Oh, and Cabrera cannot make the catch once he gets there. Good effort. Tough play for him.
Thank you. Andrew's loving that one. Just a long way for first baseman to go there. Just took his eye off for half a second and just misplayed the baseball. But the big man can throw some leather. That kid started at third base in his major league career.
Payoff pitch. It's foul. Straight back over Big Hurt's head. This will be the 10th pitch of this sequence. Takes it up. He did not go.
For that bat.
Yeah, it was. First walk issued by Scherzer. And here's Tien, who struck out his first trip.
You know, hitting is just so contagious when you deal with veteran hitters. After the Manny home run, Andrew comes up and gives you a 10-pitch at bat, taking some nasty cuts up there, looking to do the same thing. You can just tell, but he was locked in.
No, hitting is contagious both ways, positive or negative.
Yes, it is. Always take that one guy on the bench just to put one in orbit, and everyone seems to wake up.
Well, in your career with the White Sox, the only time you really ever got in trouble was when nobody else was hitting and you tried to do too much and you wouldn't take your walks. You expanded your strike zone. You tried to do too many things. That got you into trouble. And then once you got into trouble, now we were gone.
Well, you know, that happens. When you try to do too much, this never happens.
That's right. Ted Williams said it. He said, you can't be a great hitter unless you take your walks.
We've definitely had that conversation before, and I took that to heart over the years. You know, that's why I was proud taking walks at times. Sometimes those walks put you back in a better hitting frame of mind than anything in the world.
No question about it. And sometimes you got criticized because they said, well, you should have been trying to hit the ball, get a base hit or something. A lot of times you get criticized for that.
Yes,
but you have to take the loss.
I'm sure for Manny that just took a lot of pressure off of him, so he can get back to hitting the baseball like he normally hits the baseball.
As that'll do it, but the first extra base hit, the first home run from Manny Ramirez in a Sox uniform, we lead it 1-0.
Pick that foot up.
All right, Edwin, you got your run, buddy. Hold him right there as Don Kelly, who struck out his first trip, fouls it away.
Well, Swerzer, I guess he's usually throwing no-hitters, and his first hit always seems to be a home run. Is that a weird thing? He's done it a few times this year.
Well, that was the first home run for Manny in 89 at-bats, and that's the second longest homerless drought of his career, when he went 97 at-bats one time.
I think we've all been there. I know I've been there before. Right around 85 to 90 at-bats, and you lose confidence. You lose that rhythm. You start making up things to do at the plate. But once it happens, it seems like it never left him.
Come back in here. It's trying, but it won't get there. Back 3 rows. So the count 2-2.
That's why people tell us, well, if we can eliminate the mind from an at-bat, we'll all be great, great hitters.
It's so easy to outdumb yourself. It's unbelievable.
We all do it.
I played 9 years outdumbing myself.
Well, the best years I've ever had, I would go up to the plate and not think about the last pitch. I would just see ball, stay through the middle, and hit ball.
Well, you said stay through the middle. That's the key to that phrase.
Well, it opens up the ball game. It keeps the ball game open for you, and it eliminates a catcher trying to set you up.
Well, I know one thing. You stayed through the middle. For a guy as strong as you were, you stayed through the middle better than anybody of that magnitude of strength that I've ever seen. You get guys that strong, usually they want to, go from, if they're right-handed, they want to go from center field to left field. But you had a lot of thoughts out there in the right center.
But I was taught by the best. And I tell people that all the time. I was lucky to have Walt Reniak early in my career, who just programmed me to stay through the middle of that ballpark.
Well, you bought into what he had.
Mm-hmm.
You bought into what he had to say. Some guys did not. And,
exactly.
And there are a lot of guys who couldn't stand Walt.
Right.
I couldn't stand it. And with you, it's just like Charlie Lau with George Brett. George brought in to Charlie what he was saying. So that's why, because that's a little jam job popped up in the right field. That's a can of corn, should be. Mark. And that's out number 1. But that's why the toughest uniform job in baseball is a hitting coach.
Yes, it is.
Because today you got 13 with 12 pitcher staffs. You got 12 or 13 hitters if they got 11 or 14. So you've got to handle, say, 12 or 13, 14 different personalities. And it's just impossible to do.
Well, you just got to be one hell of a used car salesman. Because they got to buy into everything you're preaching, and it's very, very difficult to do.
Rayburn walked his first trip. Charlie was a dear friend of mine. We played together. My first year in '63 was his last year. And then he was a coach on Kansas City. And he was talking to guys back in those days and helping guys out. Well, back in that time frame, that time zone, some of the best hitting instruction you got was not from a hitting coach, it was from your teammates.
Right. Guys that are watching you night in, night out.
And that's gone today.
Yes. Well, it's easy to believe if you're seeing results. And instantly I was seeing results.
Right.
So why wouldn't you want to buy in?
No reason not to. Well, you know yourself. We had a couple of guys in the club. We were going to Texas. One of them asked me, he says, will you have a beer with me once we got to the hotel? I said, yeah. He says, Charlie, he says, Walter's killing me. I said, don't blame Walter. I said, you're a good hitter. Because that's low and that's ball 4. So that's the second time Rayburn was walked. Third walk issued by Jackson. But I told him, I said, don't blame Walter. I said, you're a 290 hit lifetime hitter. Right. I said, it's your fault. It's not his fault.
Right. Well, if you're not seeing results, I mean, it's obvious that it's not clicking, it's not working. Maybe you need to get some new terminology or try to just get him to buy in what you're trying to do at the plate. He always had an answer. Not many coaches nowadays got answers when guys are struggling. And that's why I love Walter so much. When I was struggling, he had answers to get me back where I was.
Well, you had to connect with him.
Yes.
Want to know the count to Peralta, who hit into a 6-4-3 double play. You know yourself, you've seen hitting coaches, a lot of guys will look at them and listen to them, and it's going one in and out the other.
Right.
But they still hit.
Right. Well, that's why I love Greg Walker. He's very consistent the same way.
I love Greg. He's a good.
He stays right there day in and day out. He preaches the same, teaches the same. Through good times or bad times.
That ball is thrown away. So now Rayburn will line up at second base. Sox lead at 1-0 here in the top of the 5th.
Let's try to be a little quick there. If I can handcuff Katse there.
Yeah. So now we need a bad base running double play.
I'll take a couple strikeouts and get out of the inning. How about that one?
That's another road, another option. There's a bullet. Caught by Pierre.
Great play, Juan.
And here's the bad base running.
You
double play.
You called it, Hulk.
And that'll do it. We're halfway home leading 1-0. has played a real, I tell you, he's done a heck of a lot better job than I thought he could do out there in left field for us this year.
He's just a true professional. Old school center fielder turned left fielder. But, man, he plays hard every day, works hard every day, shows up for everybody every day. I mean, enough said. He works himself to be a very good Major League ball player.
Well, 58 stolen bases this year. The reason we are where we are is not because of Juan Pierre.
What's great is Ozzie had him down in Florida, so he knew what made the kid tick.
It's out of play. And let's check out our AT&T U-verse replay. Rayburn at second. There's a shot in there. One stays right with it. Rayburn thought it was going to be a base hit.
Great play, great throw.
And see what's new from AT&T. Visit www.att.com.
Line shot by Ramon Castro.
So that is out number one. And Chicagoland viewers, how would you like to win $5 footlongs from Subway? Just be the 500 texter to text Subway to 97999. Go to WGN-TV. For complete info and rules, that ball hit deep, but not deep enough by Concept.
Got inside on him a little bit there. Good path. Just overpowered him inside part of the plate.
Two down. $5 footlongs. Just be the 500 texter. Brent Morrell. Get used to seeing this young man.
I'll tell you what, he's been playing very well. Seems like he's a very solid young player.
Same demeanor as Peter.
Okay.
Same demeanor.
That's saying a lot.
That ball hit deep, way back. Jackson looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes. Number 2 for Brent. And it's a 2-0. Sox lead.
All that one time. That young man can charge the ball right there. That's a long home run.
Well, if you look at his numbers in the minor leagues, you say, well, this guy doesn't have a whole bunch of pop. But after you watch him hit, you say, wait a minute, this guy got some pop.
Well, I tell people all the time, don't judge those minor league stats. It's different hitting in the minor leagues than it is in the big leagues.
Here's Lillybridge. He lined out hard to Cabrera at first. Takes a breaking ball strike.
Not a bad pitch. Down and in. Stayed through the ball. And shot the ball to left center gap.
That's softly hit back to the middle. Peralta, nice play by Johnny. And that'll do it. But the home run by Brent Morrell will go to the 6th leading 2-0. Brandon Inge will lead it off here in the top of the 6th inning. 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error for our guys. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Tigers. Inge struck out his first trip.
No hits through 5. And only hits Swerves has given us 2 home runs.
Giving up 2 hits, both of them left the premises. Everyone slips a little bit on that one now. There's a little gardening on that landing area.
Well, you know Roger's not going to like looking at that. I love Roger.
I do too.
There's a bad hop or a pitcher slip or a ball that hit anything in the infield, he's going to tear it up the next day and get it right.
Look at the play by Morrell. Can he get in? Beautiful play by Brent.
Yes.
Mercy.
Home runs like that and plays like that will get you some time in the big leagues.
Well, we talked about get used to seeing him. He's going to be around.
See that. This team's got an interesting future. You also got the tank over there too, so it's going to be interesting how all these things play out.
The tank's probably going to wind up on the other side. Tank's got a huge upside. That ball hit into right field. So Avila now 0 for 2. Diane Viciedo has got some of the best upside of any young right-hand hitter you want to see.
He can hit that ball hard. I mean, he's shooting that ball all over the place earlier this year. I was impressed with him.
Frank, he can hit the ball to right field as far as you could.
Yes. I saw him hit a home run here earlier this year that almost left the concourse.
Yeah.
He's got a bright young future. Just maybe a couple years away from being great.
Well, I don't know what it measured, but that's the longest home run hit by, in fact, in this ballpark by a right-handed hitter this year.
Yes, it was up there.
Plus, in Detroit, he got one out of the park faster than any home run we've seen hit this year. Oh, 1 pitch to Austin. Checks it up. And a reminder, the first 25,000 fans at each game will receive a Dick's Sporting Goods game card worth $10 off any purchase of $50 or more. Dick's Sporting Goods now with 18 convenient Chicago area locations. Remember, every season starts at Dick's. That's fouled away. 1-2.
Well, Hawk, that's why I tell people, you have to tip your hat to guys that last in the big leagues for 10 years because there's always great young players on that dang farm. It seems like they're coming out of nowhere now, everywhere, ready to replace you.
Well, sometimes I get some interesting texts from former teammates and friends of mine saying, how can you say these guys are better players than we were? Well, they don't see them every day like I do. These guys are better players than we were. I'm not saying they're better teams. I'm just saying these guys are better players than we were. They can do more things.
There's a lot more training going on now, Hawk.
Oh, yeah. Can't get him. And that's the first hit for the Tigers. Slowly hit.
Young man can fly down that line. Just an excuse me swing. 40 hopper. Lexi came up clean. Young man can fly. He beat the ball to first base. He can fly.
Good call by Vanover.
Nothing wrong with that play. I just outran the baseball.
Well, if Alexi's not going to get him, good chance he's not going to get picked up. So here's Rhymes. He is grounded to first and popped to third. There he goes. So he picks up his 24th steal in 29 attempts.
Young man's got to be high on the list for a Rookie of the Year, I'm sure. Just can flat out fly. Once again, outruns the baseball.
The 0-1 pitch. He's still having some problem with that landing spot. Oakland leading Minnesota 2-1. Game now. Top of the 6th. Cassé does the right thing, knocks it down, keeps it in front of him, picks it up, throws him out, and it'll retire the side. But they get on the board with a hit, not a run, a hit. That's a shame, but he did beat it out. And after 5.5, 2-0 Sox. Will win 100 chances to take home the Powerball jackpot Wednesdays, Saturdays. Wednesdays jackpot is worth $112 million. That's getting up in the big hurt range there.
That's a nice little area right there. 112 mil.
One thing about it, you can't win unless you play.
And you got to play.
The 0-1 pitch 2-1. And that's just a soft little line drive to the second baseman. 1-0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch in the first inning.
I'll tell you what, both these started pitchers, man, they're really getting that ball thrown and throwing strikes. Because I've rarely seen a guy out there tonight who's been taking a lot of pitches.
As Dan Jacobs would say, it's a beautiful thing.
Yes, it is.
Here's Alexei. He's 0 for 2.
You know, even though Swisher's thrown 2 home runs, I mean, but he's really been attacking that strike zone. That's what you want to see from your pitcher, especially when you're playing defense behind him.
One and one to count to Alexei, who has struck out and popped to first. Out of play. And a reminder, visit the official online shop of the White Sox. You can browse the largest selection of official gear, including the latest apparel, nostalgic memorabilia, and authentic classics for the whole family. So get your gear from the official source. Shop at whitesox.com.
Hawk, let me
bury that one down, Nina.
Let me ask you a funny question. Will a man 175 pounds in your era hang across the plate like this?
Yeah.
What would happen to him in your day, though?
Well, he's got to be willing to take a lot of pain. A lot.
Because, I mean, he's got the middle elbows in the middle of that plate, and I'm telling you what.
In fact, there's one in this park that we see every day. They hung out a heck of a lot more than that over the plate. And that's a high, but he comes down on the bag, so that is out number 2. And we see him every day, and yet he took a ton of pain. That was Manny Minoso.
Oh, yeah.
Here's Manny. Here's what he did last time up.
That's a fastball. Get that monkey off his back. That's what he needed right now. So you never know what you might see from Manny in the next 14 days. He just needs to loosen up a little bit here.
Number 555 in his career. Takes first pitch strike.
And this is what I mean right here.
Well, you said it last time up. And it's true. I've never seen a great hitter yet that didn't occasionally take three right down the middle and just turn around and walk right back to the dugout.
You look at it sometime like, what is he doing up there? And then the next thing you know, it's in the seats.
That's three right there. And that'll retire the side. We'll go to the seventh. It is still 2-0 side. Better. Who will win the National League West Division? A, Giants, B, Padres, C, Rockies. Just text A, B, or C to 97999 and watch for the results later in the game. A 2-0 Sox lead. And a problem out there.
Don't want to see this.
No.
Guys, not excellent ball game too. Like a little shin problem, maybe.
I don't know. It may be developed from that landing spot.
I hope it's not a hamstring or anything. Fall into that hole. But he's got to have a lot of torque to be throwing the ball 98 miles an hour.
And you know, his 98 is an easy 98.
Yes. Effort.
Effort. Full high pockets. He got some ball legs.
He can throw the ball.
So here's Damon. Johnny has walked, stolen a base, and he is grounded to first. 2-2-1 for our guys. No runs, one hit, no errors for their guys. And the count 2-0.
Back-to-back changeups. Trying to slow Johnny down and get him off that fastball. Great pitch.
Right back up over Frank's head again. Two-one pitch. Right there.
Great pitch. Inside black. Can't make a living in there, Hawk.
Not unless you bailing like a son of a gun.
This good hard country fastball right there.
That ball hit in the center field right at Andrew. That's a piece of cake for that man. Can of corn.
Man can play some center field.
He's still got a lot left in him.
Yes.
He got a lot of gas in that tank.
But for me at this point, he needs the right hitting coach with him. That's going to make him stay centered to the middle of the field. 500 at-bats. Because I see too many times this year he's looking at a home run by Bellin, and he needs to stop that.
Greg's tried to get him to do that all year.
Oh, I know.
Tried all year long.
He's been hard at it for years with it. He really has. The man has over 400 home runs.
Here's Cabrera. I mean, spring training. In spring training, I'm telling you, Hurt, he was hitting balls.
Oh, I saw it.
He was hitting balls 500 feet to left center field.
In April, he was solid through the middle of the diamond.
And all of a sudden, he hit some home runs. He got away from it, and all of a sudden, he starts. There he goes. He's hitting uphill again.
Probably freelancing.
A lot of ability in that man right there.
Oh, yes.
1-1 pitch. That was a little flare, and that's going to fall. So he is now 1 for 3. He struck out his first 2 at-bats.
What Lance Johnson used to call a big man hit. Got to be strong, get the bat sawed off on the inside, and the ball just falls right in front of him. He used to call it every time those big man hits, he was driving crazy.
Well, big man hits for another reason, too, because the outfielders play deep.
Yes. That was Lance would always say. He just got another big man hit on me.
That was Ryan Rayburn. That ball had been sucked up. So here's Kelly. He struck out and gone out to right. And there's a save. So Cabrera's going to make the turn as Tien gets it back in. 1 out, runners at the corners.
I hope Edwards all right.
I do too.
He's stretching out a little bit too much now. He's got some pain going on. That was a little change up.
So as Coop goes out there, reminder, the first 25,000 fans at each game will receive a Cardinal Fitness game card. So stop into a Cardinal Fitness with your game card and get a membership as low as $10 per month.
Gotta love my man, Don Cooper.
Linebrick warming up down in the pen as Coop. He's a good one. He's a keeper.
Yes, he is. He can give you a conversation and make you think about a whole lot within 1 minute.
Rayburn has walked twice. I'll tell you what's fun in spring training is when he's out behind the mound, they get a screen, and he's talking to the pitcher.
Right.
To tell them, this is live now. The hitters don't know, this is live. And he's telling them what to throw. I mean, it's funny.
Always loved Cooper. I spent many, many years with Don Cooper.
Yeah.
Even in the minor leagues.
Yep.
He's paid his dues. Just good people's people.
Done a great job for this organization.
Yes, he has. He was so consistent in the minor leagues for such a long time before he got here.
Kelly just a decent lead. And that ball gets away, so one's going to score, the other is going to be in scoring position, and it's a 2-1 ball game.
Try to put a little extra on that curveball there. Snapped it right into the ground.
So that will be the 5th wild pitch of the season. And a 3-0 count to Rayburn. So he has walked 3 straight times. And that'll bring up Peralta, who has hit into a 6-4-3 double play and lined into a 7-4 double play.
I think Hermie and Ozzy's taking a long look at him right now.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Something might be wrong.
And here comes Ramon once again. Well, you know, you see your teammate last night get hit in the face and stay in the game. They wouldn't pull him out of there, and all of a sudden now you get something maybe a little ouchy or something wrong with you, and you don't want to come out of there.
No, he's a tough kid, but there's something wrong with that landing leg. You got to overcompensate and put yourself in a situation to injure something else.
1 out, 2 on. Checks it up, fouls it back to even the count at 1.
Probably simple fastball there.
First to 3 tomorrow. Lucas Harrell against Justin Verlander. So make your plans to be with us here at beautiful US Cellular Field. And then on Sunday night, Johnny Danks against Jeremy Binderman. There's a good strike and the count 1-2. The game tomorrow, if you can make it to the ballpark, will be over Fox, and Sunday night, of course, on ESPN.
Tell you what, hopefully Verlander left some of that gas in Detroit, because I'm telling you what, last time we saw him, I mean, that was what we call, that's a big league pitch ball game there, buddy.
And there's a base hit into left field. They're going to wave him around. Here's the throw. Not in time, and the game is tied at 2.
Well, Hawkeye said about Peralta earlier, he's a much better hitter when men on. And the bases are empty. There's been a lot of guys like that. Get an RBI out there, they're a totally different hitter.
And here comes Ozzie. So Edwin Jackson will depart. He really pitched well.
Yes, he did.
It appeared there might be something wrong with his leg. He departs, and we'll be back. fan. At the game tonight as Scott Linebrink comes on. The numbers on Scott. So the Tigers have tied it up with 2 here in the top of the 7th. There's 1 out, 2 on. Linebrink worked 2 innings last evening. Was good. Gave up just 1 hit, no walks. Had 2 strikeouts. So here's Inge, a dangerous Brandon Inge, especially. We just talked about Peralta with men on base.
Very dangerous.
Outfield slightly to the right, gap out there in left center. Rayburn at second, Peralta at first. Checks it up, fouls it off. So a quick strike to Brandon Inge. High heat right there, and the count 0-2. If you're just turning in, Sox have 2 runs on 2 hits. 2 solo homers. 1 by Manny, that was in the 4th inning, and 1 by Brent Morrell in the 5th.
Scotty's done a great job keeping that fastball up and out of the zone. Not letting him chop down on it. Great breaking ball.
Chops it foul. Count hangs at 0-2. Oakland leading the Minnesota Twins 3-1. That game in the bottom of the 7th. At Target Field. Another high fastball, check swing.
Brandon likes that dead red. It's hard for him to check up on it. And I'm sure he's set up the breaking ball or the split finger with that high gas.
Going away.
The last pitch was that cutter?
Well, like a hard slider, hard cutter. He gone.
Great breaking ball there, Scotty.
2 down.
Just really set him up to hold that bat. High fastballs and finish him with a great slaughter. Great spot. Strike 3.
So here's Alex Avila, who has popped to short, and he has gone out to right.
This young man's got a lot of pop in his bat.
Against us, he has.
Yes. Well, the day I was in Detroit last week, he hit a ball in the gap there. And he back over by that flagpole. That's a long way to opposite field in that ballpark.
Just Sale loosening up.
Great catch, Scotty.
And the count evens at 1.
Nice changeup.
That ball hit hard. Nobody's going to get that one. That's going to score a pair, so a 4 spot put on the board here in the 7th by the Tigers, and they lead it 4-2.
We talked about a little earlier in that bat. This guy's got some pop. He's just sitting waiting on that fastball, and he got it. He tattooed it. Just a fastball out over the middle of the plate, and young man dropped the head and line drive over center fielder's head for a double. 2 ribbies.
So here's the leadoff hitter, Austin Jackson. Takes first pitch strike. He got their first hit, if you're just tuning in, last inning with 2 out. Edwin Jackson had a no-hitter for 5 2/3. He got an infield single and picked up a stolen base.
It's an awfully great ball game. Seems like he tweaked something there on that right, on the left landing leg.
Something was wrong.
Yes, he was stretching between every pitch.
And the count 1-2 to the young 23-year-old center fielder. Jazz got a piece of that one.
Guys are battling now. Couple runs.
Big gap out there in left center. Almost ducked right into that one.
High curve ball up by the coconut. Never know where it's going to land. Good spin on it. Just down the top of it.
So the 2-2. That ball hit hard. Nobody's going to get that one.
It's out of here.
That is a 2-run homer, and it is a 6-2 Tiger lead. That was what happened in the Minnesota series. Sox bullpen really had a lot of trouble. Having trouble here tonight.
He's got hurt twice. Bringing that fastball down in the zone. He was pitching very effective up in the zone fastball.
So that'll be it for line break. He departs, and we'll be As they have put a 6th spot on the board if you're just tuning in here in the top of the 7th inning. So Edwin Jackson relying on him. 6 in the 3rd, 4 runs, 4 hits, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. Relying on Scott Linebrink, 1/3 of an inning, 2 runs on 2 hits, a 2-run double. They scored 2, charged to Jackson, and the 2-run homer off the bat of Austin Jackson. So here's Will Rhymes. Will 0 for 3. He's grounded to first, popped to third, and grounded to first. No chance. This young man here is nasty.
Tell you what, it's not a comfortable at bat for left-handed hitters. He's made some awfully great hitters from the left side look awfully average.
He made Maurer look as bad as I've ever seen Maurer look. Maurer took the first 2 sliders, missed with a fastball, came back with another slider about 1.5 feet outside, and he still swung at it.
He's got excellent stuff.
There's the strike.
Just knees and elbows and great velocity, great torque on that breaking ball.
He is the poster child for lanky.
And the lefties never see too many guys like this throughout the season. So he's going to be effective for a long while. As long as he's healthy.
That's getting your thumbnails knocked off right there. Meanwhile, 7th inning stretch. They put 6 on the board. We trail it by 4. And along with the big hurt Frank Thomas sitting in for my partner Steve Stone, Yom Kippur. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. 6-6-0 for them, 2-2-1 for us. Our 2 runs, 2 solo homers, one by Manny Ramirez, the other by Brent Morrell. So it'll be Andrew Jones, Mark Tien, and Ramon Castro.
Well, we got our work cut out now.
Can't do it all in one swing.
No, need some base runners.
And the count, 2-0. Don't help him out.
I think he might be taking one here, but you never know.
No, if it's there, he's going to hack. As he takes it on the outside corner.
Great spot for a 2-0 pitch.
And a good job of taking it.
Yes, it was.
Time was not called. He could have gone ahead and delivered that pitch. Kellogg did not give him time, and Andrew's saying, why not?
Well, these guys nowadays, they over the last 2 years have been notorious for this. You call timeout in the middle of that bat, they keep everything going. Not giving as many timeouts as usual.
Not hardly. Did not check it up, and the count 2-2.
It's a nasty breaking ball there. If I was Andrew, I'd be looking to shoot in the right field right here because, wow, that's a shocker.
Full count. Made a beat pitch on him right there.
Yes, it was.
1 out.
Tease him on the inside to get him out of the way.
That's 8 strikeouts for Scherzer.
Good exploding fastball away. Brought it back over outside corner. Great pitch.
Here's T and 0 for 2, a couple of strikeouts. Takes first pitch strike. Well, a good friend of mine and a Hall of Famer, Bobby Doyle, second baseman with the Red Sox. Great player, great guy, great hitting instructor. There's a strike on the inside corner. Said your offense is only as good as your bullpen. And there's a lot to it. Fouled away. That bullpen comes in, gives up a lot of runs, puts a lot of heat on that offense. Guys try to do a little too much.
Well, we've had a rough go over the last 15 days or so.
Well, actually, last month.
I think maybe, all the wear and tear and the injuries out in the bullpen. And like we said earlier, everything's contagious.
Yeah.
You get Bobby out as your closer for a little while with back problems. Trickle-down effect.
Well, Bobby Jenks, regardless of what anybody wants to think about our bullpen, is the key to our bullpen.
Yes, he is.
He is the key. And when he's healthy, we get ourselves a heck of a bullpen. When he's not healthy, it's not a heck of a bullpen.
Well, it goes to say that the guys in the bullpen, they all look up to the closer.
That's it.
And when your closer's strong and doing his job, it's contagious.
And you can trace back last year to our troubles. When we got in trouble was when Bobby went down. Everybody had to move up in that bullpen, and it didn't work out.
Yeah. I think guys try to do too much when the big boy's down, and and that's when things start to fall apart.
They did it the year before when Bobby got hurt. And of course this year, since he's been down, our bullpen has not been effective. 1-2 the count to Castro. Ramona's 0 for 2.
He was extremely full of that last pitch. I think he was sitting on something else.
Well, that Minnesota series is a great thing, as we talked about. They scored 9 runs in game 1. They scored 9 runs in game 2. And all of those runs came from the 5th inning on.
Well, you give up 9, you're not going to win too many of those.
Well, of the 26 runs that they scored, 23 of them came from the 5th inning on.
Yes.
So that'll tell you, in that 3-game series against the Twins, that'll tell you you're not going to win. 23 of the 26 came from the 5th inning on. That's fouled away right side. On the other side of that page, you look at Chris Sale. Got a chance to be something special. You look at Brent Morrell, got a chance to be something special. You look at Diane Viciedo, got a chance to be something special. And that's inside ball 4. That's just a second walk issued by Scherzer. He didn't want to do that. And that'll bring up Kotsay, who's 0 for 2.
Well, it's definitely that time of the year now that you're looking at the September call-ups and you're looking at the young guys and see if they're ready to prepare for the big league level. And that's why guys can't quit at this point. you got to continue to play hard there night in, night out.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ozzie won't let them quit.
Oh, I'm not even worried about that.
No. If there's an individual or a couple individuals who want to pack it in, they won't be here.
No.
That doesn't even worry you and doesn't worry me. Starts them off with a changeup out in front.
Well, Swerzer's thrown 107 pitches tonight. 2 hits, 2 home runs. The rest of the time, we've struggled.
And a reminder, you can enjoy a day right here at beautiful U.S. Cellular Field with your family and friends. Individual tickets for the Sox are still on sale. For tickets, visit whitesox.com or call 866-SOX-GAME. Only 10 more games remaining. Check the 9 after tonight. 4 with Boston, 3 with Cleveland in the season, and we have games here tomorrow and Sunday. So make your plans to be with us here at beautiful U.S. Cellular Field. Right there, he knew it, and he'll do it. So he strikes out the side. That's 10 strikeouts for Scherzer, and he leads it 6-2. Rayburn is winding down the 2010 season on a high note. In his last 37 games, Rayburn is hitting .353, 11 homers, and 31 knocked in. For all your home improvement needs, shop and save big money at Menards. That's a pretty good finish after such a slow start.
The game has picked up a lot, but Scherzer seemed like got stronger as he got closer to 100 pitches.
When you get a guy like that, you get yourself a keeper.
We were talking about it. 2 hits, 2 home runs. Besides that, he's been dominant all night long.
That's one reason I used to love Bartolo. Bartolo start off the first 4 or 5 innings throwing 92, 93. You get to the 7th, 8th, and 9th in a close ball game, he's throwing 98, 99.
Big strong cat.
Waves at it and the count 2-2 to Damon. Dunny has walked. He's 0 for 2.
I was going to ask you about Sale. Do you think he should pursue the bullpen, or do you think he's going to be a starter?
Well, I think you have an option here. I think you've got two positive options. And from what I've seen, I'll tell you what, you get yourself. Again, we go back to the premise that you and I have talked about all year and last year and the whole thing. It doesn't make any difference how good your starters are. It doesn't make any difference how good your offense is. If your bullpen doesn't get it done,
right,
you're going to lose. So we've got good starters. And I think, for me, at least in my opinion, he's going to stay in the bullpen for a while. I love to see young guys work out of the bullpen anyway.
Oh, this guy's looked so dominant out of the bullpen for such a long time here. You know, a perfect example of that was Alan Emery when he came up. Throwing the ball 100, he was a starter, and they put him in the bullpen. He was throwing the ball 100 miles an hour. He was so dominant out there, he found himself in the bullpen for a career.
Yeah. Cabrera, you don't see a lot of guys come out of the bullpen. And I talked with Chris about it. And he said he's always been a starter. Mm-hmm. And, of course, just being called up as a rookie, he'll do anything they want him to do. But once he settles in a little bit, he will voice his opinion.
Right.
I just don't think. I think it's just a battle of bullpens today, and you can't have too strong a bullpen.
Well, for me, he's a serious guy to stay in the bullpen because he's something special out of the bullpen.
Well, it's gotten to the point now, too, unless you get lucky, you better have yourself two closers.
Well, he absolutely shuts down left-handers, and he has good enough stuff to get right-handers out, which is special for a left-handed pitcher out of the bullpen.
Well, we got a general manager, and the manager is not afraid to let a youngster go in that closer role. We saw that back in 05. We had three closers in 05. We had Shingo Takatsu. Didn't get the job done, and Dustin Hermanson came in. Look at this. You don't see.
That's what I mean right there.
He gone.
Backdoor breaking ball to one of the best right-handers in baseball. Locked him up.
But Dustin Hermanson came in and got 34 quick saves, and then he went down with that back. And here comes Bobby Jenks at a double-A.
Yes.
And look at the top. He will always have a place in my heart.
Oh.
Checks it up, fouls it off. That's one of the gutsiest, grittiest performances I have ever seen. A young kid coming out of Double-A and winding up being the closer and a man who was instrumental in getting a world championship.
Well, he was throwing the ball 100 miles an hour every night. The breaking ball that was
a yacker.
Devastating. Guys were swinging at the 100-mile-per-hour fastball just because they didn't want to get to the breaking ball. Didn't matter where it was. I saw so many guys up there just hacking away.
Well, you've been there, done it too.
Yes.
We always have a little slow grounder. And it'll do it. Gets Sale a 1-2-3-8. Strikes out Damon Cabrera and gets a little soft ground ball to Kelly. First pitch strike to Brent Morrell, leading off here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Sox led it 2-0 going into the 7th. They put a 6th spot on the board. Max Scherzer, that's his 112th pitch. He's given up 2 runs on 2 hits. Brent had one of those hits, a solo homer, as did Manny Ramirez, a solo homer.
Kind of shocked to see him back in the 8th at the 110 pitches. The 6-2 lead. This time of the year.
That ball hit hard in the center field. Stretch! Get on back there. Austin Jackson, he can go get him. And that's just a hang woofle right there for Brent. A hard, long line drive.
Young man hit that ball right down the middle. He's hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark. Hawk called it a hang woofle.
So here is Lillibridge. He's 0 for 2. A line shot to Cabrera and a ground ball to short. Fouls that one, and that's going to be unplayable right on the first row. Solaris and Perry. And a reminder, you can stop by the Comcast Fundamentals deck at U.S. Cellular Field for the ultimate game day experience. You can visit the Comcast dugout to see the official Sox equipment, take photos next to life-size player cutouts, and listen to updates about the Sox pitching staff on the Xfinity Voice dugout phone. All brought to you by the great folks at Comcast. Certainly our congratulations go out to Jim Corno Sr., who was inducted along with the big hurt Frank Thomas into the Chicago Hall of Fame, Sports Hall of Fame, and well-deserved for our Jim Corno Sr. He has been very instrumental in Chicago sports for over a quarter of a century, along with his lovely wife, Carolyn.
That was a great night the other night.
Had to be.
That was wonderful. Great banquet, run very well, and there was a lot of people there.
Well,
I mean, it was a few thousand. It was a well-received crowd, and there was a lot of great ex-ball players there.
Get used to it, big guy.
It was awesome.
Get used to it.
Well, what a year it's been. I've just been overwhelmed all year with all the awards and accolades. It's been a touching year for me. That right there, it just brings tears in my eyes, because that's something that you can only dream a dream to have a picture on the wall that will be there forever, and proud and blessed.
Well, and you're going to have a statue out there next year. And you live the dream.
Yes. Well, Hawk, you made it rough for me that day. I must tell everyone.
You know,
just hit incredible words, and we've shared so much time together. It was just hard not to break down at the signal.
Well, you know, I said this, you didn't hear it, but I don't think there's ever been another player that I was ever been as hard on as I was you.
Oh, yes, you were, but that's all right. I needed it.
Throughout your career.
I needed it, Hawk, and I thank you for it.
That'll do it. We're into the 9th. It is 6-2 Tigers. The 27-year-old first baseman is putting together some Triple Crown caliber numbers this year. He is first in RBI, second in batting average, and third in home runs, and his 45 doubles are also first in the American League. Miguel Cabrera tonight's Toyota moving forward. Carlos Torres in for Chris Sale. Chris went an inning in the third. Retired everybody he saw, along with a couple of strikeouts. He struck out Johnny Damon and Miguel Cabrera. So there are the numbers on Carlos. And while Rayburn comes to the plate, I remind you, you can join our White Sox mobile group to receive exclusive offers and chances to win great prizes like autographed jerseys and baseballs. Text SOX to Shy Sox 244-769 to enter to win an autographed Mark Burley jersey. Standard text and data rates apply. Visit whitesox.com for official rules. Top of the ninth inning. We got to hold them right here and then put 4 or 5 on the board in the ninth, the bottom. Here's Rayburn. He has walked 3 times and scored once. Six runs on 6 hits for them. We have 2 runs on 2 hits if you're just tuning in. 2 runs on just 2 hits. 2 solo homers. One by Manny Ramirez, his first in the Sox uniform, and one by Brent Morrell, his second Major League homer. Of course, with those 2 home runs, the Alex Nelius family will donate $100 to White Sox charities for every Sox homer hit throughout the course of the season. That is number 167 and 168. So $16,800 donated by Alex Nelius in loving memory of Ursula.
It's got to be very unfamiliar for Torres coming in here, ninth inning. Getting some work in.
And there's a shot on a 3-1 count. Cut off by 1. He'll get it back in. Leadoff man aboard.
What a tough act to follow. Chris Sale.
He's got a chance to be something. Checking a few other scores for you. Bottom of the 7th in Houston. 5-3 Astros over Cincinnati. Cardinals leading San Diego. San Diego struggling. 11-3. That game in the bottom of the 7th in St. Louis. Colorado leading the Dodgers 2-0 after 1 out in L.A.
Well, the Cardinals seem to be rolling for a while there, and the wheels fell off.
Well, 2 of their studs on the mound have really struggled lately. Carpenter and Wainwright. I'm a big Chris Carpenter fan.
He's got great stuff. I've faced him a lot.
You faced him a lot,
yes.
Yeah.
One of the best breaking balls I've seen in the game.
Oakland leading Minnesota 3-1, ninth inning. The Target Field as big hack, no contact by Peralta, who's 1 for 3, an RBI single and a run scored.
It looked like we're going to get Phil Koch in the bottom of the 9th. Some right-handed hitters up.
Yankees came back to beat Baltimore 4-3. Down in St. Pete, the Angels beat Tampa Bay 4-3. Still got some good races going. As there's another base hit.
Peralta again, man on.
That's a tweener, and that's going to score Rayburn, and it is 7-2.
rolling cut fastball and brought the straight through the middle of the diamond. Shot it in the left center gap. This is a great piece of hitting. Left it out over the plate. He's just a totally different hitter with men on than he is when base is empty. It really is.
And that ball in the right field. Teeing back.
Wow.
It's off the wall. They're going to wave Peralta around. The throw, not in time. And it's 8-2.
It's getting ugly now, Hawk.
Yeah. Yep.
Tough situation for a young pitcher in the ninth. When he hit that ball, I thought it was just going to be a hard hit ball to right field, but an out. Ball carried to the top of the wall. That tremendous pop for a little guy.
So here's Alex Avila. He had a big 2-run double in the 7th. That coming with 2 out. That made it a 4-2 Tiger lead. So once again, our opposition scoring late in the ball game, as Minnesota did. Just tuning in, I mentioned earlier, Twins in those 3 games scored 26 runs, 23 of them coming from the 5th inning on. That's unbelievable.
Guys got to wake it up. If we lose this game tonight, it'll be 4 straight losses against the Tigers.
And if you look at that scoreboard out there now, 6 in the 7th, 2 in the 9th. So the last 34 runs we've given up, 31 have come in from the 5th inning on.
Never would have thought this 2 months ago.
No, I thought that we were going to win this thing. I really did.
Well, the first 4 months of the year, I really thought we had one of the best bullpens in baseball.
There's no question about it.
They were dominant, night in and night out.
Because I figured that Bobby was going to be here. I figured our bullpen was going to be healthy. But without Bobby Jenks, it's a different looking ball. Just a different looking bullpen. I mean, there's just no question about it.
Well, they tell you that in the big leagues all the time. You got to be lucky sometimes. You got to stay healthy. If you're going to win the division or the pennant, you got to stay healthy.
We had the 3 games with Minnesota. We had the last 22, only 6 on the road. The last 22 they had 10 at home, 12 on the road. And I figured with our bullpen, which is better if we're healthy than theirs, we were going to win this thing. And they just came in here and just ate our bullpen alive.
I felt the same way. I really felt we were winning this division somewhere between the 15th and 23rd of this month, and it didn't work out that way. If you're not healthy, I mean, you can't take the right guys to the ballpark. It changes everything.
And then on the other side of the page, how many times do we have to give Minnesota credit? And one more time this year because of the fact they didn't have Joe Nathan. They lost him, and they didn't have Justin Morneau. And they just keep plugging guys in.
That's 2 big names, 2 superstar players, and they're finding a way without them.
Well, people don't understand. A lot of times when you lose guys, and nobody ever talks about this. In 04, Ozzy's first year here, we lose Frank Thomas and we lose Magglio Ordonez. And if we don't lose those 2 guys, we probably win everything that year.
Yeah, we had a great team that year.
You can't lose 2 guys like that and do anything, and yet Minnesota's done it.
Yes.
That's foul back.
But replacing those guys, they've done a good job with, Big Jim Thome came out and had a wonderful second half. Filled that hole for Morneau, and they were able to get Matt Capps in the trade to solidify their bullpen. So I think they did a good job of plugging holes also.
Yeah, they did. Alexei very quickly over. They get the man at second base. Good try right there by Lillibridge. Too much speed. So that's 1 out. Runners at the corners.
Just a cutter away. Great play by Alexei. Good feed. Great flip. Austin Jackson just a little too fast to double up.
Well, the Twins with the best record in baseball since the All-Star break.
What's amazing about that, we had the same surge going into the All-Star break.
Yeah.
You know, they just really turned it on. They really did. And with that last 7-game win streak we had, and just we only shaved half a game lead, that'd be tough on morale a little bit.
That's fouled down. Well, they have absolutely, Twins just killed the Central Division. And coming into the night, we're 30-36.
Yes.
And when you don't beat up on your own division, you're not going to win it.
No, you can't win the division.
And that's into left field. Angie's going to tag, and he's going to score. And it's a 9-2 Tiger lead. Another late inning run.
Well, you called it. 4 straight nights, 9-9, 8-9. And tonight we're 9 again, so it's tough to win ball games when these type of things are happening.
So here's Brennan Bosch hitting for Johnny Damon, who was 0 for 3 tonight. Bosch hitting at .260, 14 homers, 63 driven in. If you're just tuning in, the pitchers' record are the starters. Max Scherzer and Edwin Jackson. Edwin Jackson had a no-hitter for 5 2/3. They got their first hit in the 6th. A little infield single. As that throw is off the mark.
I think that'll be rule of base hit.
I would give him one.
Ball's deep in the hole. Lexi made a great job getting there, but too far in the hole to throw him out at first base. Far up in the hole. I think that'll go as a base hit.
They gave him a base hit on it.
Yes.
Which is a proper call. And here's Cabrera. He's 1 for 4 tonight with 3 strikeouts. Last time up, Chris Sale just mesmerized him.
But he tipped his hat.
Yeah, he did.
Just walked right to the dugout.
That's it. Two on, 2 out.
Just a perfect backdoor breaking ball to finish in that last at bat. Boy, Torres made 3 great pitches on him right there.
He just aced it. But they come up with 3, and they lead it by 7. Ryan Perry, hard throwing right-hander coming on for Max Scherzer, who was just awesome tonight. Scherzer went 8 innings, giving up 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, had 11 strikeouts, and for the most part just dominated our hitters. Alejandro Diaza hitting for Alexei. Alexei was 0 for 3 tonight. Ball raced into left field. Not a good jump at all, but a good recovery right there by Kelly.
Great play. I thought that ball was over his head.
I did too.
Well, that's the way to come off the bench hacking right there for Diaza. So hang with him. Fastball out of the plate. Struck well. Kelly made a heck of a play in left field.
So here's Viciedo.
The tank.
Now we mentioned earlier about Brent Morrell. You're going to be seeing him a lot. You're going to be seeing this young man a lot as well. The tank. Is a strong man.
Yes, he is.
He's 21 years old.
He's got great leverage at the plate. Quick bat head. A lot to learn.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to be a keeper.
There's a shot base hit into center field.
Right on cue. Another laser.
Right now, let's check out our USL text poll question and results. Who will win the National League West Division? Wow. Overwhelming choice. The Rockies, 73%. Here's Tyler Flowers hitting for Andrew. Andrew was 0 for 2 with a walk.
I'm not really shocked about that Rockies prediction. The way they finished the last 3 years.
And there's a high Major League pop-up caught by Vila. So 2 down.
I think he lost his ball. That was a wing and a prayer right there. Somehow he held on.
So here's Mark T, and he's 0 for 3. Mark's had a tough night. 3 strikeouts. Oakland beat Minnesota.
You could just see that one coming, Hulk.
Yeah.
That's what they did here the last 3 nights. It was definitely due for a letdown game.
Ball gets away. So the tank moves into second. Lucas Harrell tomorrow night against Justin Verlander. Sunday night, Johnny Danks against Jeremy Bonderman. He plans to be with us here. That pitch is fouled back. 2 out, 1 and 2 the count. And this ball game is over.
Another disappointing loss, Hawk.
Well, when you score late like we have been allowing teams to do for the last month, they got 6 in the 7th, 3 in the 9th here. They win at 9-2. And of course, we know what Minnesota did, scoring 23 of the 26 runs in the 5th and on. You're not going to win a lot of ball.
Not at all.
All right, they win it 9-2, and we'll be back.